giving us a net of just over 1.6 million. Actual charges for it was just under 1.6 million. We have received $275,000 worth of reimbursements with the budgeted reimbursements of $95,000. So we're about $80,000 under budget on the water side of things, or 4.8%. A couple of the notable projects, we did complete an expansion of 460 feet of 12-inch PVC out there along Medley Road to try to get some more water flow out there to the Riverport area. We also had a tie on South Chesterfield Road connecting radial feed into a loop system over there. One of the rollovers we had was over on Straw Street. That's getting underneath CSX over there. We're currently waiting for Garney to complete some jacking bores over here. We've got some pricing from them to do that while their group's in town doing jacking bores for that project, so we're going to utilize them here as well. Overall, the two projects we did complete, they had a $135,000 budget, came in at $141,000. Most of that overrun is on Medley Road because of some underground landmines, as we call them, with the way some of those roads have been reconfigured over the years. We just ran into a few obstacles over there. The biggest hitter to the water budget is the service and meter replacement without new customer. We budgeted $875,000 to that. Actual came in at $877,000. We had a water line truck that we couldn't get in this year. We bid it last year. It came in over budget, so we had to go back through and re-look at that and reevaluate that truck. We rebudgeted it again in the FY20, so that's the biggest rollover from that. And then we also have the cost for the Plan A main break, $376,000. We did receive some insurance back on that, so that cost is down, but that was captured in our reimbursements. So overall, the major capital projects in that budget of just under 1.7 million. We came in just over 1.5. Any other questions?
Okay, talk about telecommunications. The budget was $4 million. Actual spend was 3.8, with a variance of about 250,000 or 6% under budget. The customer installations, you can see the residential, commercial, and miscellaneous conduit, and the variance here to the overall budget for this particular section was 52%, and that was my fault, and most of that was in the residential installations. First of all, we had a few more residential installations than what I projected. However, when I budgeted for this particular category, I only put the labor for the installations in the capital. So the equipment that was being installed actually was coming out of the fiber to the home installation account. And I basically just messed up. I just had it in the wrong place. So that one is completely on me. It will not happen again this fiscal year.
It wasn't because your internet was slow though, right?
It was not because my internet was slow, completely reliable, it wasn't down. So there you go, fiber to home construction, we were actually about a little bit more than 16% under budget. The engineering department did a fantastic job with all of that. And again, some of my equipment was originally rolled into that too. Network operations data center upgrades, pretty much right on where we thought we would be there. Billable projects in Kentucky Wired, Austin alluded to Kentucky Wired before. You see some of the reimbursements. We still have a portion of Kentucky Wired on my side of the lateral connections that we have a 30-year IRU with them to provide them connectivity to some of the government institutions in town. And we're trying to wrap that project up by the end of this month. They're actually doing some continuity testing right now. And once we're completed with that and we turn it over to them, we expect a large payment up front for that 30 years of the number of circuits that we're turning over to them. So we'll be glad when that's all wrapped up. That's taken a lot of resources, and I'll share a little bit more with you during the next commission meeting about some of the impact that that's having in other places. Any questions?
So for fiscal year 2019, the G&A group worked on 11 total projects for a total budget of $312,000. Our actual spend was significantly under budget, as you see, at $158,802. The primary driver for that is the 3 projects that were postponed until fiscal year 2020, and then we had another project that was canceled outright. We'll talk about that more in detail on a later slide. But as you can see, we were $153,198 or 49% under budget. And another project I guess I wanted to point out was a project where we were actually over budget. So this was the CSC camera system replacement. This was budgeted in fiscal year 2018, but we had some hardware that was back ordered, and we weren't able to receive that until June of the fiscal year 19 budget. So $8,800, a little over $8,800 was not budgeted, but was counted towards fiscal year 19. Fortunately, we were under in several other projects, so we were able to absorb that, but that was an unexpected expense for this fiscal year. We had several what I would consider just routine maintenance type projects. They were capital though. Parking lot pavement and forklift tire replacements. Those again were under budget pretty significantly from a percentage standpoint, but the dollar amounts, as you can see, were not majorly impactful for that variance. So here we talk about the main drivers of the variance of the budget. And again, I keep saying variance, but fortunately we were under budget, not over budget. But we had a barcoding solution in the delivery warehouse that the further we got into that project, the more we realized the return just wasn't there like we had hoped it would be, the return on that investment. So we decided to just cancel that project, at least for now. As our processes change, as our personnel change, that could change later, but in the near future, I don't think that's a project that we'll be looking at doing. We also had 3 projects: the CSC auto door opener on the front door downstairs, security glass for downstairs, which Michael had already spoken about, and the data archival solution. Those 3 projects we weren't able to complete in fiscal year 19, but we did include in the budget for fiscal year 20. So altogether, these 4 projects add up to about $125,000 of the $153,000 variance that we have. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Sorry. All right, I'll give the production electric and water update. We had one capital project planned, and it was a CCR project, which got canceled because we came up with an alternate plan. So we saved $50,000 a year, which was good. We had one project carried over the prior year, which was our Unit 2 condenser exhauster. The actual cost for it was just over $300,000. Carryover was $185,000. What ended up happening was we ended up not getting as many invoices in the fiscal 18 as we thought we were. The actual project itself was budgeted at $350,000 or $400,000, and actually came in at $350,000 total. So the project was $50,000 as a whole under budget, but it looks bad because we didn't get the proper budgeting in. So even though it shows we're $59,000 over budget, as a whole the project was under budget by $50,000. And there it is. All right, we had 8 capital maintenance projects budgeted for just over $1.3 million. One capital maintenance project got completed, and that was the FGD absorber module agitator shaft replacement. Actual cost of $36,730, which was just under the budget of $40,000. We had 7 capital maintenance projects canceled on Unit 2 for just over $1.3 million. We didn't end up doing that work. We had our capital maintenance actual cost to date was just over $43,000, and the adjusted budget was $40,000, so we were $3,500 over our budget. And that's on the power. Any questions on power? Not much. We're not doing much there. On the water side, 22 capital projects budgeted, just over $21 million. 7 projects completed, actual cost of just over $166,000. Our budget was $417,000, and our variance, we were 6% under budget. 8 projects canceled. We say canceled, they're canceled this fiscal, but rebudgeted for next year. A lot of that's the contingency money if we have a Plan A failure, and or we need money, extra money for the capital expansion. So that got canceled. So that budget was $812. So then for the 3 projects that were deferred, which are the new well field development, the monitoring wells, and the HVAC heaters. So our actual cost to date was just $2,000 in carryover budget was $263,000 on deferred projects. We have 4 projects that were partially completed in 2019, be finished in 2020. The high service pump had Plan A as a backup as part of the contingency plan. Construction engineering support for the cabin water treatment plant, of course. Actual cost to date, just over $6 million, and we'll carry over that 14, shift that over in fiscal 2020, which is all the cabin expansion plan. Fiscal 2019 capital project actual cost to date was just over 6.2. The adjusted budget was just over 6.4, which put us 3.7% under budget. And there's the aerials of the cabin. Any questions?
Thank you all. Moving on, general manager highlights we talked a little bit about before the meeting. July temperatures, the Owensboro Airport recorded about a degree below normal with average precipitation. Areas surrounding us recorded temperature about 1 degree above normal with a little bit above normal rainfall. So average it out, we came in about average for July. And city load came in just above budget at 0.9% above budget. But wholesale sales were 34% under budget for the month, and that's continuing to be driven by low market pricing. And Unit 2 was offline for 6 days. We had 2 tube leaks that were the bulk of those outages. And as we've talked about, we're continuing to monitor that. Hopefully we'll have a good run in August, September. Anytime Unit 2 is off now, we are buying powers with Unit 1 offline. And on July the 19th, the United States set a new daily high record for natural gas, power generation by natural gas. The last one was set in July of 2018, and natural gas prices from July 2018 to July 2019 were about 19% lower. So natural gas prices continue to decline, and that's driven these natural gas usage in our business up and has driven market prices down. So that's those factors all interplay with the power market with fairly average weather and low price natural gas is keeping the wholesale market pricing low and impacting our wholesale generation.
What percentage of the generation was it?
It's about, I think it was 34, 35%. When coal was about 32%, 31%, which that ratio has flipped now and probably going to continue to get, coals continue to decline and natural gas is continuing to move forward. And for the foreseeable future, if you look at EIA's projections, they're projecting that trend to continue with less coal-fired generation and more natural gas and renewable generation, supplanting the coal.
Kevin, have there been any new developments with KYMEA? Weren't they looking at getting us natural gas?
No,
As part of their
as of right now, they've got their
portfolio
portfolio for the near future. They'll be doing another integrated resource plan shortly to look at longer term. But no, there's been no developments with their supply portfolio.
And our relationship with KYMEA is still the same, no new changes or
Right.
anything new there as far as, they haven't attracted any new members, have they, or haven't heard of it?
No.
They were looking at.
They're continuing to talk to other municipals in the state, but they don't have any new members as yet.
Thank you.
Ready? Okay, the financial fiscal year to date for July 2019, overall, the total electric revenues were down 4.3% below budget, and the water system right on track with revenues. All the electrical expenses are below budget except for the wholesale. Even though the wholesale's G&A was down 49% for fiscal year to date, and transmission's down 60%, the purchase power was up 19%, so that was a 1.1 million above budget. So our wholesale came in about double worse than budget on our loss, so we're down 109% on that. Telecommunications looks good, we're up 71,000, better than budget, and then on the water system, we ended with 180,000 better than budget for the 2 months so far. Our ECA balance is right at 14.8 million. And the chart at the bottom there, after 2 months of actual, and we have 10 months of budget left, we project, because our expenses are lower than our budget, we're expecting maybe to end the year about 25% better than budget on consolidated electric. And then on wholesale, about, we're projecting at this point 17.4% net income below budget at the end of next year. And then telecom, about 72,000 better than budget, and water, about 181,000 better than budget. Any questions?
Okay, moving right along, performance, or not, we did that. Governance items. JT and I went through those, and we're in compliance with all 5 of those commission policies. Okay, any comments there? We have no new policies for under review or development. Upcoming meetings, as of right now, we don't have anything that we need to review for the September 5th work session. So unless there's objection, we will cancel the work session. So our next meeting will be our regular meeting on September 19th. Mr. Chairman, that's all we have. We need to go into closed session to discuss personnel matters pursuant to KRS 61-810-1F, pending litigation pursuant to KRS 61-810-1C, and matters which are required to be discussed in privacy pursuant to KRS 61-810-1K, including but not limited to KRS 61-878-1C, I, and KRS 61-872-6. Move.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Close of OMU Commissioners meeting, 15th of August, 2019.
Thanks, Sharon, much for the